Hello. So, something quite funny just happened. Well, it's not funny. It's kind of predictable. I just did some work quite strenuous work for 10 minutes, and I thought I was recording, but I didn't turn the camera on properly, so it was not recorded. So my idea is to try again, but I thought rather than jump straight back into it, I maybe talk about how it felt and what I thought I was doing. I mean, I'm working a lot with instruction and so on, so that's up there in the ether. But at the whole time, I think I'm on one level, and before I started this research, which became more concrete and more illustrative, I was very much working on the things that operate without like underneath, or the things that operate our choices, so to speak. So on a sensorial level, on a conceptual level, what affects the body, the person, the self, the identity, and how does one make choice? I think that was, or does one make choice? Where is choice? So one of the things I went back to now, I don't know if I'm going back or if I'm going forward, but it felt a similar aesthetic to older work. But the idea was that I was just operating on pure a notion of what it was pre-existing, what was in the room. So trying to be informed about what was happening. There's a lot of complications to it. It's problematic as in it doesn't feel honest completely, 100%. Firstly, because I move. But in this one, it felt like there was a period of starting and a warm-up to warm-up, perhaps, as if I went to the place where I wanted to go. So there was a sense of that, but after a while that subsided, and I felt like I was operating on what was happening. I mean, even though I say that I feel like I should just stay still, I do believe I started in a place of stillness. So I think when I retry again, I will attempt to start in a place of stillness, to try and operate there. Also, the aesthetic thing feels problematic, because I think I've been told that it's a clear aesthetic that operates. But then, if we're talking one-to-one, me-to-me, alone, I honestly feel like that is the aesthetic that comes out of this kind of operative function. That when one is operating no longer on pure notions of truth, one operates on such a small scale, for one, so choices can't grow. So although choices happen, I think they're within such a small scale that they can't escape into representation, or they can't escape into into kind of abstraction, into meaning or validity, or so. But of course, that's its own aesthetic. But staying on this level, I don't think you're going to see things that, you're going to see a certain type of movement, and I think that's where the aesthetic comes from. It's because it operates on a certain logic of what it is to be in this situation. But it has an aesthetic which does perhaps bear similarity to illness, to dysfunction. But I think that makes sense, because illness and dysfunction both operate within the realm of no coherence, no organization. So for me, that's probably quite apt of a description of it, because no longer are you operating out of necessity or notions of survival. It's very basic, a very basic instinct, which I think doesn't quite hold strength in relation to knowing what it's all about. Okay, I'm starting to feel a bit better, so I'm going to try and press record this time.